Alright, so it's time to do a little bit of harvesting, a little bit of cleaning up around the garden. If you follow this channel, you've seen the videos. I tried to start a little bit of garden out of seeds and store-bought seeds, or not store-bought seeds, but seeds that I harvested from vegetables, stuff like that. Really, none of it made it. And that's my own fault, neglecting and everything like that, which you'll see that because of neglecting, I really need to clean this up and have a bunch of herbs here I need to get harvesting, and we'll also check on the garlic that I planted like 3 or 4 months ago from just a regular garlic clove that you bought at the store. So we'll see how that turned out. Hopefully it didn't rot. I'm about 2 weeks overdue from harvesting for those guys. It's one of the downsides trying to homestead. When you got a full-time job, you really don't have much energy after work. So all your time is done on the weekends, the times that you have to go do other running around and chores and stuff like that. So we'll get down here and start working on some of this stuff, get it looking a little bit better than it does. And so first we'll go ahead and clean up some of this stuff here around the green onions. Nice. Come up pretty easy. For those of you who don't know, I'm laying cardboard down for weed barrier. It's working great where the cardboard is, but of course, anywhere around the cardboard, it is not doing all that great. And then if you don't layer the cardboard, oh geez, that's quite a bit. But if you don't layer the cardboard over enough, the weeds will come out anyways. So I'll just get rid of this stuff real quick, make sure I'm not pulling any onions. Now these are onions, these are green onions that I just planted, just with little bits left of the green onions we got from the store. Planted like that much of them just to see what happens. Obviously they're doing a great job. These three are the best. Trying to save seeds, just kind of keeping an eye on these. When they start really drying up, and put like some cheesecloth or something like that around them to collect the seeds, or cut the tip off, whichever. Probably pretty close to harvesting all of these onions. And we did have, I think, 5 plants altogether. We have one out here, but it got hit by a mower one too many times, so it ended up not growing. Then you got this one, this one, this one, and this one. Yeah, so 5. I'm not sure what's going on with this guy as far as blossoms go. These 3 have them, and they're getting ready to go to seed themselves, but for some reason this guy doesn't. Now supposedly they have better flavor if they don't go to seed, because all the flavor and everything, all the energy goes into making the seeds. So I'll probably harvest these just for eating, and then the rest of these just be for seeds. So that's pretty good. Then we got some catnip over here, which is actually kind of funny because cats don't really care about catnip. They like that silver vine stuff. Smells some pretty strong onion here. This is good. But anyways, that's these guys. Not going to harvest them yet. We don't need any green onions right now. But when it comes time, I'll probably just harvest it, like cut it down here, and maybe hang it upside down to dry it. But let's go and go over here to some of the herbs. Here we have a bunch of lemon balm with what looks like a dandelion in the middle. Hi, Keithan. Of course. Hi. Got the supervisor here to keep an eye on us. I don't know if you can see it, but right over here, this is our lone asparagus. Right back here, this little fern-looking thing. I do. Yep, that's lemon balm for sure. Go ahead and harvest some of this stuff. It is also going to seed. Generally, most herbs are biennials. It means the first year they'll produce leaves, the second year they'll produce the flowers and the seeds. So these guys are all in their second year. We have lemon balm, sage, and parsley. Parsley's going crazy. You'll see that in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a bucket and harvest a bunch of this stuff here. I keep that. Alright, so just in case you guys don't know this, but where you want to harvest it at is just above where two leaves come out. You know, here I'll actually cut that there. You see how well you can see this? You see where the leaves come out there? What you want to do is you want to harvest it. You want to cut it right above, so that way the leaves can spread and you'll actually get more of a plant out that area. As you can see, there's little blossoms here. Up. Now these guys, they do have health benefits. You can make a tincture out of them. I'll put on the screen what it's good for. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just found out recently that they are really good for health benefits. I've been meaning to get some super generic, like vodka or something like that, to make some. I've got a huge mullein plant out there that I've been wanting to make a tincture out of as well. And then there's a wild lettuce out here. I've got spiny lettuce, I think is what it's called. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, so underneath this guy here, we have our sage. And something I never realized, sage had these beautiful purple flowers, which I think is really, really awesome. I'll go ahead and the parts that don't have the buds on them, the seeds, I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. You know, that they're, like I said before, they're biennials, so this is probably going to be it for the plant, so I might as well just get what you can off of them. So I can go down pretty low, just get as much as I can. And these guys actually surprised me, and they survived over the winter time. We had all these guys survive. Oregano, lemon thyme, those two didn't survive. And the funny thing is, we had rosemary that survived clear up until March, and it just passed all the worst of the cold. So I was hoping it would survive through the entire winter, but I'm guessing after it warmed up a little bit in March, the plant started, waking up, or whatever you want to call it, and ended up getting a cold snap, which finally did it in. this year, if I get a chance and we actually have some of these guys, or some rosemary, I'm trying to grow some more inside. I'm actually wanting to make a small greenhouse kind of thing where you just like place it over it out of like plexiglass or Lexan or whatever the heck I have, and hopefully I get it to survive the winter. All right, call that good. And now the parsley. Now it looks like there's really not a whole lot of parsley in here, like as far as the leaves go, but I do have some. These are getting brown on the tips. I don't know how good they're going to be. I'll decide on whether or not I'm going to keep them later. But there's flowers everywhere in here. Well, they still have a smell to them, so perhaps it's not that bad. Yeah, we'll probably just leave the rest. All right, now we'll go to the next one. All right, so now we have this guy. This guy here, this guy. Not exactly sure what it is. It almost looks like wild lettuce, but I don't think wild lettuce has purple flowers. So, get rid of that guy. Okay, and this stuff, I believe. Okay, this is the Italian oregano. There's not a whole lot here. A lot of it's gone to seed, but there's some on the inside here that I can harvest up. Not a whole lot here. Still smells pretty good. It'd be really awesome if this guy does reseed itself and come back next year. Alright, I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave the rest. Oh, maybe there's a little guy. Okay. So last thing we're going to go check out is the basil. All right, like I said with the other plants, basil is also a biennial. However, this is the first year we put it in, or the first year we planted it. It doesn't really like direct sunlight, so it just produces seeds, gets put under stress. So I'm like really late in harvesting any of this. This is pretty sad. A lot of this is drying up. So I'm just going to get what I can here as well. Yeah, a lot of these are dying because the plant puts so much energy into the blossoms and making seeds that it takes all the nutrients and everything from the leaves, so they're not doing all that great. Now, just like the last one, the best place to harvest these, if you're just taking off leaves, is just above where two leaves come off. So let's see here. Let's find an example here. So if you can see it, you see these two leaves down here coming out. You would want to harvest it right above that. But since this plant is on its way out, I'm just harvesting what I can. Hope that it comes back. Yeah, this is all pretty much done. Appears we might have something growing here. A volunteer plant. Catnip maybe? Because I think we had a catnip here. Alright, so there's those. Alright. The last thing I'm going to do is check out the garlic. Like I said, this is store-bought garlic. I'm just going to see what it's done. Okay, weird. First one just fell over. I'm guessing the bulb rotted. So let's check out the second one here. Let's get a shovel in there. Okay, nothing there. Weird. So yeah, I'm guessing these things just rotted away. Never done this before, so I don't really know what to expect. Okay, so that's two. Here we go. And one more thing I'm going to go ahead and do is take a bunch of this and we're going to infuse some olive oil with it. Heat up some olive oil, put it in a mason jar with a bunch of these guys. I mean, you can do leaves as well, but I've got a bunch of these flowers. So you put this in with heated olive oil, let it sit for a couple hours, and then you have some infused olive oil. Just trying to make sure I don't get any ones that are going to seed, like actual seed, or dying or anything like that. Like all these brown things I'm going to leave. Get a bunch. Alright, so we got some herbs out of the garden. Got 3 little garlic cloves and bulbs. So I'd say this is a success. Next year we're hoping to get the well put in, so we'll actually have a decent garden. Won't be worried about hauling water just to feed these guys. But we can get these guys hung up, dried out, and wonder how they'll taste. And if you like this video, you want to see more, go and hit the subscribe button and see what other little weird things we do and how things turn out. And until next time, keep picking up dust. Faux Shizzle.